Hey little hoe, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're doing well. I hope you like this video. It is embarrassing for me, but I thought that would be funny to talk about. I haven't been in that position, in the position of getting scammed a lot. But for the times that I've been in that position, I was so close. I was basically asking the other person to take my money. So yeah, I thought that it would be fun to talk about. I only have two stories where I was so close to getting scammed. There was one time where I was actually scammed, but it is I think that it's embarrassing, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But for the first one, it happened when I was in high school. I was 17 or 18. I was a senior, and I was in the process of looking like what college I was gonna go to. And my family is lower income, right? So they weren't gonna pay for it. They told me from the start that if I was gonna go to college, it would be because I pay for it or like through my own means. And besides looking for colleges, I was also looking for scholarships, right? Because I wanted to get as much money as possible. And I found out that I didn't qualify for a lot of them because I didn't pay attention to school, or it wasn't like my priority at the time. Like the first 2 years I didn't try at all, so my GPA wasn't high. And then it wasn't until I started the process as a junior, and by then it was too late, so I didn't qualify for a lot of them, and I kind of gave up, because I felt like I wasn't gonna go to college because I didn't have money. So for I think a month, I just I was looking for jobs. I was looking for like places to go. And one day, I don't know where, someone called me. It was a random number, right? And I always answer, like, anyone who calls me, I answer it even if I don't recognize the number. And the person calling me, it was a man, and he congratulated me for receiving a scholarship that I didn't apply for. I didn't apply for any, but at that point I was so desperate to get anything to go to college. So I kept talking to him, and he told me that it was for Latinos, and I don't know what else he said. I don't I It was like, what, 5 years ago, so I don't remember much about it. But I remember that I was so happy when it happened. So I kind of just, I went along with it. And then after like 5 or 10 minutes of talking, he told me that if I didn't secure it, then someone else was going to take it. So he told me that the way to secure my spot was to buy 5 Apple gift cards, right? And when I heard that, I was like, okay, like that's weird. But I'm just a kid. I'm in high school. I don't know how it works in society. So he was like, okay, but like I'll go pick them up or whatever. So my house, it was like 20 minutes away from Walmart. I didn't have a car, so I started walking. And on the way there, he told me to not, get off the phone, right? So I was talking to him the whole time, and we were making conversation, like, and I remember that we couldn't talk about the scholarship the whole time, right? Like we had to make conversation about, like, a small talk basically. So I remember that he told me about like his family, and then he asked me about mine, and stuff like that. Like I thought that, like I thought that we were making a connection, like we were being friendly with each other. Like I was trusting that man because of that reason, and I was telling him what I was doing. Right, I was like, hey, I'm about to enter the store. I'm looking for the cards. This is the price I'm getting. While I was walking, I was also telling him like, hey, this is what I'm buying. And I remember that I kept asking him questions because I never bought like a gift card before. So I was like, hey, how does it work? How do I give you the code? Stuff like that. And he was answering the questions like just fine. And then I remember I made a comment saying something like, hey, like it is a lot of money. Is there any other way that I can, do this, that I can secure my spot? And I don't remember what he said, but I do remember that he raised his voice, and he was mad. Like he was like, "Don't you want this? Like, why? Why does it matter how much money you're gonna spend? Like, in the long term, it's gonna be more money for you." And when I heard that, my first thought was like, "That this is so unprofessional. Like, that's not how you're supposed to talk to me." And then I started thinking, like, why is he so desperate about this? Why is he being so passionate about it? And then yeah, I made the connection that he was scamming me. And the thing is, he raised his voice when I was I would say like 5 people behind the cashier. Like I was in the line already. I had the cards with me. I was ready to go, and I probably would have gone through with it if he hadn't like raised his voice at me. So yeah, if he had waited like, I don't know, 10 minutes, I probably would have bought it and then given him the code. So yeah, it felt so embarrassing like walking back. And then when I made a connection, I remember that I didn't hang up because I was mad. I was embarrassed too. because I didn't buy anything. I just walked out of Walmart like just like that. And I remember that I wanted to waste his time, right? So I was like, yeah, I'm buying it. I'm, looking for the codes. I don't know how to do this. And I was just like acting dumb like the whole time, right? And I wanted to see like how far could I do it before he, gave up on me basically. So I was asking him questions. I told him to walk me through it, like how to find the code. And then 10 minutes afterwards, he was done basically at that point. Like I was about to get home, so I didn't want to talk to him anymore. But you could see, like you could hear the frustration in his voice, right? And at that point I just hung up. Because I don't know, even though I was mad, I still felt bad like cursing him out or saying anything like that. So I just like hung up when in the middle of him talking, and that's it. And then when I got home, I told my sister about it. And then she started laughing at me because it is embarrassing. Like I was 18, I was 17, so I was a grown adult, and it was embarrassing. But at the same time, I went out of the house. I had an excuse to go out, to walk around. Like, I did some exercise. So I guess there's a bright side to it. And for any scammers out there, like, just be patient. Just deal with it for a little bit. Because, you're taking money out of people. So at least that's the least you can do. Don't let your emotions control you. Just find a way for you to be calm and to, control yourself. That's the takeaway from this story. Just be patient. Okay, so for the second and last story, it was also during college. I was a senior, but this time I was in college. And this time I was looking for a car, right? Because I was about to graduate. I got some extra income from social media. So I was able to save for a little bit, and I had enough money to buy a car. So I had a friend to drive around with me, right? To look for cars, like on the streets. Because I didn't want to go to a dealership. I wanted to see one of those cars that had like the sign on them. I know that's not secure, but it's cheaper. So, I had to do it that way. So me and this person are driving around, right? Like looking for a car. And we see one that I really liked. I don't know much about cars, but it didn't have like a top, right? It was like a sports car, I think. So we called the number and then we asked about the price, right? And it was like 5,000, I think. So I told the guy on the phone to like schedule a meeting with me because I wanted to see it. And I remember that I had to work on Saturday, right? So I scheduled the meeting for Sunday. And he said yes, like he said that he was onto it. But the thing is, the friend that I was going with, he also needed a car. Like we were driving his parents' car, so he was looking for one. He didn't tell me that. So this hoe, he schedules a meeting with the same guy a day before me. And he gets a car, like he buys it. And the thing is, I didn't know. Like I still showed up to the meeting on Sunday. And when I saw that the guy didn't come, like I, called him and he told me that someone else got him. So I was mad about it, but I was like, whatever, it happened. And I didn't find out that my friend had it until like a week later. And when I found out, I was mad, but at the same time, that car only lasted a month for him. Like he had it, and then he had to take it to the mechanic like 2 weeks later, basically. And the person like fixed it or whatever. But then another problem came up like a week later, and then it kept happening until it got to the point where he spent more money, going to the mechanic and doing repairs than the actual price of the car. So at that point I was like, you deserve it, bitch. Like I should feel bad for you, but I don't. Fuck you. Like whenever he complained about how hard it was to take care of the car, I would just remind him of what he did. So I was like, you deserve it. Like you did this to yourself. So yeah, in the end I had to go to a dealership because I didn't want to risk it anymore. And it was a little overwhelming because I almost didn't have it. Like I almost didn't qualify for it because I was a student, so I didn't have like a good income. I was working part time only, but in the end, I bought it. It was a 2015 Nissan Versa. Yeah, Nissan Versa. It's a good car. I like it. But yeah, that's it. Those two stories are the ones that I remember the most because they were so recent and I was so close. Like for the first one, if the person had waited like 10 more minutes, he would have gotten the $200. Like there's no way that I would have hesitated because I'm a little bitch. I don't. At that point, I didn't say no to people. So, I probably would have just bought it and given to him. But then he lost his temper. So, I made a connection finally. And then for the second one, if he had waited, 24 hours, he wouldn't gotten my money instead of my friends. It sucks that I used to be that naive. But I don't know. I feel like I grew out of it because of that reason, because I was so close. I was given like a second chance. Like right now, I'm in the point where I don't answer like random numbers. So I grew a little bit. I grew, but I don't know. You never know until you're in that position. So hopefully I don't get scammed. If I do, then I guess there's another story time to do. And yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and if you have any stories about you getting scammed or being close to it, let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching.